Let's have a look on xubuntu, and in my series about the xfce desktop I showed multiple distributions which uses xfce desktop, and xubuntu is one of my favorite. It's my favorite Ubuntu flavor. Here's the xubuntu.org site, and you get information here about the newest Xubuntu 26, and going to download, then you see here directly torrent download and more. Also Xubuntu 25 and Xubuntu 24 is already there, and I have here the old LTS 24 LTS, and let's have a look on distro watch. Here you see Xubuntu, the new 26 has this wallpaper here, but the core system is very similar, and I show you when you go to ubuntu.com under products, Ubuntu desktop, and then you here found the flavors, the Ubuntu flavors: Ubuntu, Kubuntu, Lubuntu, Ubuntu Budgie, Ubuntu Cinnamon, Kylin, Ubuntu Mate, Ubuntu Studio, Unity, and Xubuntu at the end. But it's one of the best. So just to show you, and this is the old wallpaper from 24, but just to show you xfce based distro, or with the xfce desktop. Here we have thunar, filemanager, and in this case Xubuntu comes also with the xfce theme greybird, and it's a bit optimized for Xubuntu, and they use here specific icons. Let's have a look on appearance. Here you see greybird theme, greybird dark as well, and advaita. With this switcher you enable that also the title bar for the window manager is changed to the theme. Icons, here the elementary xfce dark icons are enabled. You have also advaita, and also here is humanity, Ubuntu-like icons. But let's go back to the default here on xfce. Let's have a look in the menu, the programs. Settings is important. Here you have about me, appearance, desktop settings, disks, display settings, and mouse and touchpad, panel settings as well. Session and startup can be important. You can add some auto start programs. Software updater is also important. Maybe it's popping up automatically. Let's add this to favorites. Now we have this here. And then synaptic package manager is important for managing the Debian packages. We have a look later. And window manager and window manager tweaks might be interesting for some adjustments. Let's have a look on synaptic. Synaptic is when you want to go into the deeper system and install some Debian packages. Let's reload, and then you will see upgradable packages. But you don't have to use synaptic in Xubuntu. Updates are automated, and here are upgradable packages, for example, or you go into all category and then you search for some package. Chromium, here is Chromium browser, for example, but this is linking to Snap, like we see here. So we see in Xubuntu, like in Ubuntu, the system is very, very connected to the Snap repository, just to show you. But you have also many Debian packages. For example, if you want a program for the terminal or some little programs that are already in that package and not in Snap, you can find them here in Synaptic. So upgrades, you don't have to do the upgrades here, but I show you, you can mark all upgrades and then have a look, mark, and then apply, would execute this. We don't do this in this case because it's not the default way. So the system is split in the Debian packages, Ubuntu base, the core system, and then it's very, very hard integrated with the snap packages as well. But it's my favorite distribution from Ubuntu with xfce desktop, because it's very lightweight because of the xfce desktop. Let's have a look on some overview. xfce in xubuntu, we have the greybird theme. We have a top panel and no bottom panel with the starters here. That's why I put some icons on the desktop for starting fast. Then we have a Ubuntu Debian base. apt is the Debian package manager in the terminal. Synaptic is for the GUI. And then we have snap packages integrated in the system, and the GUI is the snapstore, which I show now. Let's start it. It's needing some time. Unattended upgrades does automatically upgrading packages in the background. I show this later. And then the user only needs the upgrades with the snapstore, and then there's also a pop-up for upgrading the Debian package core system. So it's a bit more modern system, split it in Deb core system and then the containerized snap packages, but it's very lightweight because of the xfce desktop and my favorite Ubuntu flavor. So this is the snap store. You can explore programs here. The newest Xubuntu will look a bit more modern. Maybe I do a video also in a month. And then you can go to the list of the installed packages, and you see here even the application finder is installed as a snap package. So they integrate this very, very hardly. Most of the packages come now with snap. Yeah. And you can update here, and for example, let's update Firefox. Unable, cannot refresh. Okay, cannot because Firefox is already running. Also, I show you can open a terminal and sudo snap list is listing all installed snap packages. Okay. And with sudo snap find, you can search. Let's do browser. You can search for packages in the terminal. Oh, this looks better. Okay. And you can also do WhatsApp, for example, Telegram, or whatever you want. So then we can also, oh no, so I don't know what I'm doing here. Snap refresh is the command to refresh the snap packages. Now we see all are up to date. And that's it. So you know now the comments in the terminal and how it is in the graphical way. And then let's have a look on apt list. Puts out all available packages, and then let's pipe it into word count -l. Let's count all the available packages. These are the available packages. And then let's count the -- installed packages. This is this one. And then you can also do the update and the upgrade. But we don't do this in this case in the terminal, just to show you for those who are don't knowing this. And let's close the terminal. Now snapstore, let's update Firefox, and is again not possible. Let's close Firefox, and then it should be working. So okay, so everything is fine. checking again. So in xubuntu 26, it's looking more modern. They develop the snapstore very, very fast. But let's end this here. So this was the snapstore. And then I show you, now we have a pop-up software updater. And this is managing the Debian packages, the core system with Ubuntu deb packages. And this is update. Here you see in the menu software update, you can execute this manually as well. And here are the settings software updates. And you can also go here on settings to have make some changes here. You can execute this now manually. Let's do it. So we have the possibility to update this all the time. But normally it's also working in the background with unattended upgrades. I noticed in long-term runs of multiple Ubuntu distributions and Ubuntu flavors that they enable unattended upgrades per default. So when you just use the system, normally it's upgrading the packages in the background. But you can do it also manually here. I show later the log files in the terminal. I like to give some insights in the background of the system. Now everything is up to date, so that's fine. So thunar I showed before. Let's have a look on with Alt and arrow up. You can go into the root file system, and then you can in thunar just type some characters, usr, then share, enter, and then backgrounds, for example. And here we have, for example, in backgrounds for xfce, the standard xfce background wallpaper. So just to show you, okay, greybird is here also one background wallpaper. But let's have a look. Xubuntu applications, no, is here xfwm, no. Here is in wallpapers as well, user share wallpapers, and then you have, okay, also the greybird. Where was it? You know, let's have a look on the desktop. Right click on the desktop, desktop settings, and then you have here the wallpapers. And what is the folder? USR share xfce4 backdrops. So when you want to have a look, xfce4, USR share xfce4, and backdrops, here you find then the background wallpapers specific for Ubuntu, xubuntu. So just this. On the menu you can edit the applications, or you can edit the properties, the menu, whisker menu, appearance, and you can change here the name for the panel button. You can show the icon in title or only the icon, and then you can also change this icon. Let's search for xubuntu, and here you see this is the default xubuntu logo. It's very similar to xfce. Here you can use the old xfce logo as well, and you should also find the Debian logo, Ubuntu, and you find also the Ubuntu logo when you want to put this there, or you will search for this tree, and then you have this. So just to show you, you can modify some stuff. We have transparency in the panel, and you can check this here under panel preferences, appearance, and this is the default. In this case on xubuntu it's looking very nice, so you don't have to care about the transparency. It's really looking well here on xubuntu. So let's go into the terminal again, And this is my own system overview, alias t, put it into .bash_aliases. And I want to show you the system logs, sudo apt I showed before, and sudo snap I also showed. And then you can also ls-lhtr. In var you find logs, all the log files of the system, and then we have the apt folder, and here you have the apt history, for example. Let's cat it out, and you see the content of the file, and here we see this is from today, all the upgraded packages just before. And then let's have a look on dpkg and cat out dpkg log. This is very detailed because apt is triggering dpkg, and dpkg is installing at the end the package or upgrading. So just to show you, then we have snap, I don't know, snap, no, and then we have unattended upgrades. Okay, I did a mistake. Unattended upgrades, and unattended upgrades is working in the background for automatically upgrades, and like I said before, it's automatically enabled in Ubuntu and xubuntu and Ubuntu flavors, what I have seen. And let's unattended upgrades.log, and then you see this is empty. So let's use the older log, for example, but this is gz packed, so we add the zcat instead of cat, so then we can also cat out a gzipped log file. And this is the content, and here you see unattended upgrade was upgrading in March automatically in the background. So when you want to use unattended upgrades, make sure sudo apt install unattended upgrades, and then is also apt-config apt-auto. In Debian is a specific package for auto updates. But okay, just to show you, you can install unattended upgrades manually when you want to check this. And then I want to show you as well ls-lhtr etc apt, and then we have here the sources list and the sources list.d, Ubuntu sources, and then we have the apt preferences file for apt pinning, and then we have the apt-conf directory, and here we have multiple configuration files, and here we have, for example, 20 auto upgrades, cat out, and here you see update package list is enabled, unattended upgrade is also enabled, and this is automatically checking for new updates in the background. And then we have also 10 periodic, and here is also update package list enabled. Download upgradable packages is not enabled in this case, but you can enable it, so it's downloading automatically in the background, even it's not installing in this case directly. And then you have also auto clean interval. You can change this for 1 to 1, for example, so you make sure that the var cage apt archives are getting cleaned automatically. But normally when it's installing packages automatically, it's also cleaning up the install package. It's more important when you install manually package or download packages, but just to show you which is possible. Then we have the 50 unattended upgrades file, and this is the most important for unattended upgrades, for example. And normally you don't have to make changes here, but you can add some stuff when you want so, or when something is not working automatically, you can enable this, put more things in. Look on my channel, I have a very detailed video about unattended upgrades, just to show you in a quick way. Here are some modifications. You can change to minimal steps or disable minimal steps, however you want. You can change this to install on shutdown, and Remove unused kernels is possible. Remove new unused dependencies. Automatic reboot is also possible. For example, this is more for server cases. Just to show you, this is a configuration file for unattended upgrades. So this was some deeper stuff about xubuntu in the background. I like to show the backgrounds of a system, so to give you a chance to learn more deeper insights, and also more learning about configurations and file system and working in the terminal. So lsblk, you can put out the block devices, and here's SDA, the hard disk, for example, and then all the snaps mounted as loop. Not important now, but just to show you another command. You can also use the top command here with colorful output enabled with capital Z. I modified this. Normally it's not colorful. And you can with T and M also enable a bar in top. So let's have a look on xubuntu with fastfetch here, or new fetch maybe. And like I mentioned, my own created alias, and then you get a nice system overview. Okay, I think that's it about xubuntu and xfce. Here in the whisker menu we have also the settings manager directly on the top, and then you can easily go to all settings of xfce, terminal settings, appearance, window manager, desktop, workspaces. Workspaces are not enabled here. You can enable and make a second one, but we have not here in the panel. Let's check workspaces. You have to edit when you want to use workspaces here. Then you would have two workspaces, for example. xubuntu don't use the workspaces per default. Well, it's depending on your preferences and your needs. Display setting, this is this one, and printer, users and groups, maybe also interesting. You can add users here. Default applications, maybe interesting. You can modify here default applications. lightdm GTK greeter is also possible to make modifications here, but it's not needed. Session and startup is maybe also interesting. You can modify some things here. You can add some services or add auto start program, however you want. And software updater is just starting the software updater. This is also good that they have this in the complete settings overview. Up to date. So, and then you have here the software updates, settings, and time and date, and so on. And settings editor is then for specific stuff. Oh, this is good. So just to show you, so this is just xfce and xubuntu, a quick view into the system, and I don't care in this case that is the old LTS from 24. The newer ones comes with the kernel 7, I think, and some more modern stuff, but in the basic it's very similar. So just to show you another distribution with xfce, the lightweight, amazing, great desktop. Maybe, I hope it was interesting. Have fun, stay tuned.